welcome to another lovely episode. Say hi, Levi. Say hello. So, this video, as I promised, is supposed to be about my labor. Levi was born on October 23rd. He's about 2 months old now. Look how long he is. He's not very chunky, but he's really long. I was a little past a week in terms of my due date. I was due October 15th, I believe, and I didn't deliver until the 23rd, so I was a little bit past a week. And let me tell you, being late, like going long when you're pregnant for 9 months is torture. Yeah, I went into labor on the 22nd. I believe it was a Friday, and my water broke. But my water didn't break like it was a gush of anything. It broke like it would just trickle, and then it would stop. And then it would trickle, and then it would stop. So at first it was really confusing. Is this my water breaking, or is this pee? I didn't know. A lot was happening with my bladder. Sometimes I couldn't control it, so it was hard to tell what the heck this was. What was interesting was that I just went pee, and then I went to go and lie down. And as I was lying down, a little small gush of water came out, and I was like, oh no, did I not empty my bladder correctly or all the way? Did I just pee the bed a little bit? Oh no. So I got back up and I went to go to the bathroom again, and I'm sitting there waiting for something to come out. Nothing's coming out. I'm like, okay, maybe that was the last of it. And as I stand and I'm walking back to my bed, a little bit more comes out, and I'm like, Storm! I think my water just broke. Maybe that's wishful thinking because I'm running kind of late, but I think my water just broke. And Storm, groggily in bed with no urgency whatsoever, is like, are you sure? I don't know. Maybe not, Sydney. Maybe it's just pee. And as I'm lying down, more comes. And I'm like, this is not me, Storm. This is not me. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And so I stand up and I wait for more to come out, and nothing's coming. So it would go and then stop, totally stop. Go, stop, go, stop. So Storm's like, just go to sleep, Sydney. It's probably nothing. It's supposed to come out in a gush, remember? That's what we learned in our classes. So I call the hospital, and the hospital people are like, well, put on a period pad, walk around your house for about an hour, and if more comes out, then we'll know that it's your water that's broken, and you can come on in. So as I'm putting on my period pad, more just kind of gushes out. So at this point, before that, I was just kind of like, I don't know. But as I'm putting my pad on, I'm like, this is not me. This is not me. I have no control over this. There's a stream, a trail of water leading up to the bathroom where I am. This is not me. This is not my fault. We needed to go to the hospital. So I call Storm down, and now both of us are in full nesting mode. We start cleaning the house. We start getting extra things ready to take with us to the hospital. We're going for a good 3 hours. And we don't make it to the hospital until 8:30. This started at 5:30 in the morning, and we don't get there till 8:30. They put me in this examination room to make sure that I'm going into labor, and they put this pad, it looks like a puppy training pee-pee pad. That's what they put underneath me, and they're like, okay, well, if you're really in labor, then we're gonna see it on the pad, okay? I'm like, okay. They came back in, they checked the pad, they were like, oh yeah, it's a little bit more wet than, okay, so I'll go get the doctor. So they got the doctor, and the doctor was like, well, you're not having really any contractions, so we need to give you a little teeny tiny bit of this medicine that can help you progress a little faster. So I was like, yes, faster. That's what I want. Get this baby out. So they gave me a fourth of this tablet. And they were like, okay, you're going to get some mild contractions. It'll feel like period cramps. And I was like, okay, I could do that. Now, I'm someone who does not get very severe period cramps. So when you tell me that it's gonna feel like period cramps, I'm like, oh yeah. Apparently, my period cramps are not normal. When my contractions came on, that was a whole different story. That did not feel like period cramps. That felt like someone was trying to stab their way through my stomach. That was not like period cramps at all. They gave me a 1/4 of this pill, which made my contractions come. They were pretty mild for a while, and then they finally moved me on to my delivery room, which was huge. It was really spacious. Had a huge window, lots of space, a place where my husband could sleep on the couch, all this stuff. It was great. That's when my contractions started getting a little bit more intense. I was bouncing on my exercise ball. I opted to take a shower. I'm someone that likes really, really hot showers, and the hospital, I'm sure for liability purposes, they only allow the showers to get to a certain temperature. Their showers just weren't hot enough for me, and it was really starting to annoy me along with all of the stupid contractions I was getting, so I was just like, oh, forget it. I just left the shower alone. And I think after the shower is when things started to go downhill for me. Because usually, especially like during the worst parts of my pregnancies, I would take a bath, and that would really help to soothe me and keep me calm and keep me okay. But since I couldn't do that because the water just wasn't warm enough for me, I was starting to kind of panic. Like, okay, this is getting kind of painful. I remember at one point in time just kind of hugging the nurse that was attending me and just kind of sobbing in her arms. And she's like, I know. Those contractions got to be so severe. This is where my story takes a turn. I was not getting contractions like a normal person. You know, usually you build up to the contraction, ow, there's the spike, and then you come back down, and then your contractions flatline for a little while. And then they go up, and then down, and then they flatline again. It's not how I went. I did this thing called coupling. Coupling is when you have 2 or 3, or in my case, more often, 4 to 5 spikes consecutively, and then you'll flatline for a little bit. I felt like I wasn't getting a break in between at all. I may have been able to last longer had I had just a freaking break, because when you're going, like, there's no break. It was terrible. When you're ever in that much pain, all decorum, all politeness, all humanity just kind of goes out the window. I did not feel like a human. I felt like a wild animal. I didn't feel like a woman. I didn't feel powerful. I felt like a feral cat. I felt very primal. Very, very, very primal. I felt like I felt like I didn't have a soul. I was just here and screaming in agony, no breaks, no relief. And so my doctor comes in and she offers me the option of taking fentanyl. And I was like, okay, I think I should, okay. And so through this stupid, painful IV in the hand, you know, usually IVs are through here. This thing so through the IV in my hand, they give me the fentanyl, and that stuff is absolutely a drug. I can see how people would get hooked on it. They give you just a tiny amount during labor, but once she put it in my IV, that thing went straight to my head. As soon as she put it in, I don't know why, I was expecting it to not affect my whole body. I was expecting it just to lessen the cramps. And it hits you fast. When they put it in your IV, that thing hits you fast. She put it in 2-3 seconds later. I'm like, whoa. Oh. Like, I've never been high before, but I imagine that's exactly what it feels like. That was a lot. It was cool, but you're really just loopy, very loopy. I ended up, look at this guy, snoring. So I ended up taking it twice. because the first time it lasted maybe an hour and I got maybe 30 minutes of sleep. It's maybe 10 o'clock, 10 at night. So I've been going through a mild labor for most of the day, and then they gave me another fourth of the tablet, and that's when my contractions started really, really kicking my butt. So after my second dose of fentanyl, I got loopy. I got the high feeling, but it didn't mask my contractions at all. The first time it masked them so much that I was able to actually sleep. Just a little bit, you know, not long. The effects don't last long. But the second time, I felt everything, and I was loopy. It was no good. So now I'm just loopy and in tons of pain. It's just trying to hold on. So after about an hour, my doctor, she hears me screaming and moaning, and just I keep on spiking, and she's like, yeah, this isn't very good. This isn't very good, Sydney. If you keep on going like, look, you can't even compose yourself enough to have a conversation with me. It's hard to when you're continually spiking. And then you finally come down. It's hard to. I'm sorry. But she was like, yeah, so if we don't give you an epidural now, my worry is that you're not going to have the strength to push when you need to. Because now that you've had, in total, half of that tablet, you are progressing through your labor. You're dilating. And so I was like, okay, how far am I? How far am I? So she does an examination on me. She checks me to see how far dilated I am. She's like, oh, well, you're only 2 centimeters dilated. I was like, 2? You're supposed to be like 10. And the more dilated you get, the worse the contractions get. But because I was always peaking in my contractions back to back, I was like, I can't do this, man. I cannot do this. And she was like, yeah, let's go ahead and give you your epidural. This is where things went almost really, really bad. I'm going to stop it right there for now. This is a really long video. I'll break it into 2 parts, okay? 2 parts. Thanks for listening to the first part. Levi, say thank you. Say thank you. Bye, everyone. Stay tuned for the second part to my labor story. I'll see you all next time. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe down below. Toodaloo.